Hey, Visha, hold on one second. Hold on one second. All right, you guys. Today has been not a bad day at all. I will say that today has been. Hold on one second. Today has been much better than yesterday. Yesterday, I was like, Lord, I'm about tapped. I don't know if you guys have ever like had those days, those moments where you literally just be feeling like tapping out. You literally feel like throwing in the towel. Um, the sensation of being overwhelmed, it just at times, sometimes it just feels to overwhelm like um, your ability to have like a strong and solid faith. And so, today has been definitely a difference in me not feeling as overwhelmed. It's definitely been a day of me just seeing God do um, what needs to be done. It's been a day of me having to be patient, me having to wait. Would I rather the finances have come earlier? Absolutely. But today has been a day where I've had no choice but to rely on the timing of God. And so I was having a moment, um, earlier today, well, maybe about an hour ago, as I was kind of waiting for the weather to clear up just a little bit so that I could go to the gym, and I had to get some soft dog food. And so those are, two of the things that I know that I need to get done. But I was having a moment of just kind of like reflection. I always tell people like moments of like reflection not only aid you, in your journey of faith, but they give you like understanding, because sometimes you can go through something or deal with something, but it takes you taking a second look back to really get to that point where you really can connect some dots and really like understand some things. And honestly, I feel several ways um about this journey. If I can just be totally transparent, I feel that to a certain degree, like my faith has been tested. Like it has been tried. Like it has been like nonstop. I have literally been feeling like, Lord, it feels like I am absolutely like in the fight of my life. And I'm just being totally like um as transparent as possible. That is how I've been feeling. Like it feels like I've literally been, in the fight of, my life. And I think that kind of explains like my time with God about an hour ago, because sometimes it does feel like that. It absolutely does feel like that. Like, Lord, I'm just tired. I don't want to do another broadcast. That was how I was feeling earlier. Like, God, I'm receptive, but I really don't want to do another broadcast because my voice is getting to the place where it feels raw. I'm just going to be real. My voice, has started to get to that point where it is absolutely starting to feel raw. And I don't think people like understand that about speaking. I always used to like wonder like, why pastors, always had like water near them. It's because the more and more you talk, it irritates your vocal cords to a certain degree. Am I making sense? It does. And so, in my time of God, I was really kind of struggling a little bit with being tired, because I don't know if you guys realize I've had to like really toil for, you know, everything that I've gotten like so far. I've had to toil, particularly like with this home thing, and it takes a lot to just, stay in faith, not give up. It takes a lot for me at moments not to just like break down and just be in like tears, in shambles, because on one side I'm like, okay, God, I understand that you're testing my faith, but I can also look at moments like in this journey and see like how the enemy has tried to discourage me, how the enemy has tried to make me say, you know what, I'm gonna just surrender it, being that I am this close. Like I can totally like look and see like from yesterday with the printer, odd things happening. And so it's like, you know, moments like that make me want to fight even the more. But, sometimes I feel like, God, I'm only one person. It's only so much that I can do, you know. And so I was having like this conversation with God about it because like I'm drained, I'm very drained. Um, and to a certain degree, I've had a certain level of like frustrations because I do understand the aspect of, having to toil, having to be stretched. But, I was talking to God because I was really battling with doing another broadcast because I'm like, Lord, I can't make people sold. Like, it's not anything that I can say or do to make, it's not my job. For one, like, I would never. And you know what the Lord told me? He said, just like, you give people the blueprint for how to like make it through life circumstances. The Lord says, they still have their own faith walk, meaning that at the end of the day, I can provide all the lessons, I can allow God to use my life as, hey, Mrs. And I can allow God to use my life, as a testament of his faithfulness. I can teach all of the lessons that God, tells me to teach. But ultimately, what God told me is that they still have to make the choice to trust me. They have to take that leap. They have to become receptive to, sowing or whatever else it is. There's literally nothing. It's your journey. Am I making sense? Hold on one second. I need to park, y'all. Oh, that space is tight, Lord. Yeah, I'm not gonna park there. Hold on, y'all. Am I making sense? And so, doing so many broadcasts, like God knows that like sometimes it weighs on me. It gets to me mentally sometimes, emotionally sometimes, and even spiritually. Sometimes it is like absolutely taxing because it's like, I can only do so much. And so what God pretty much in so many words told me is pretty much like every single time I have you going live, I never know when funds are coming in. If they are, if they're not, I never know where they're coming from. These are things that I just don't know. But the Lord had to tell me, he said, every single time you do a live, when I tell you to do a live, you don't know, how close people are to taking the leap of faith, for themselves. You just don't know. You don't know how I'm dealing with people. You just absolutely do not know. And I think that that's like a life lesson, especially in moments where God has you pursuing the promise and you may be making like the bare minimum progress. You may not be making any progress towards like what you feel like God has promised you. Like you really never ever know like what God is doing behind the scenes. All we can go off of is like our emotions. And I can be like totally transparent. This has been a very like emotional like journey for me. Particularly like this season, it has been very much so emotional. It's just been emotional. And not because anything is wrong, but it gets to a point where sometimes you just get so tired that you really just you want to just like break down and you just want to just bawl your eyes out and just like give up and quit, you know? And so it's real easy to get into, those mindsets where you do let, those emotions or those feelings take over. Am I making sense? And so it's like, I'm very much so aware of everything that God told me. I was very much so receptive to what he was saying. But, sometimes even, let me turn this off. Sometimes, even though God will explain something to you, like sometimes it just don't make it better because you understand, like, okay, God, I hear what you're saying. So pretty much in so many words, you're saying that I got to keep doing like what you're telling me to do. I have to keep broadcasting. I have to keep doing this. And so, it gets to a point where sometimes it gets so painful where it's like, God, is this even touching anybody? Is my life even, I have those moments as a leader where I'm genuinely like, is this even helping anybody? Because sometimes as a leader, you do feel appreciated. You do feel like people only use you because they know that you have a voice, an ear to hear God. they, know the anointing or the oil that you have on your life. And so sometimes it does feel that way. And sometimes it does feel like God, as a leader, I give so much of myself, to your people. And sometimes it just feel like they don't care. As long as it's as long if it's not about them being blessed, they don't care. They don't care. God says I need to say this. Ask me how many people have just sent me an encouraging word saying stay encouraged. Not many. I don't know why he has me sharing this. Ask me how many people have messaged me and it not been about, can you pray for me? Can you do this? Can you do? Ask me how many people do that. It's not many people, because the majority of the time when people reach out to me, and I don't know why he has me sharing this, but like majority of the time when people reach out to me, it's because they need something. It's because they want something. Whether it's they want me to confirm, what, a decision or a choice that they're making, whether it is, they want prayer, you know, I can I kid y'all not. It's rarely a hey, how are you? I'm praying for you, without an expectation of you know, pimping the oil. I said what I said. Ask me how many people have just taken time out just to say, praying for you. Oh, not many people can do. Not many people do that. Some do, but I guarantee it's not a lot. So as a leader, sometimes, I think that adds the tired, because it's like, Lord, people in my life, and this is heavy, but it's like literally how I've been feeling like, do people even appreciate my life? Do they even see value in the revelations that I bring? Because these revelations come from a place of struggle. They absolutely come from a place of pain. Do they not see that apart from ministry, I do battle just like them? That I do have other things that are going on just like them. But yet some people can just spectate. They'll call me everything but a child of God. I mean, you name it. Ministry goes beyond a feel-good word. There are things that leaders deal with that, quite honestly, as a people in the congregation will never ever understand, because you're not in that position. You don't understand it. And so sometimes that's kind of why I felt God when he said my churches, my people should not have to toil like this, especially when I've proven them, when the oil on their life speaks for itself. They shouldn't have to toil for what they need. They shouldn't have to toil at all. They shouldn't have to suffer at all. And so sometimes, doing this does make me feel overlooked, forgotten, like people don't care. If it ain't about them, that's how the world is. Because everyone always wants something, for the most part. I know this is heavy, but God needed me to share this so that you guys can understand. Like when I say some days I really don't be wanting to go live because of these feelings. This is a great sacrifice for me to do what I do. It is extremely hard to get on a platform where, people from all over can sit and look at your life, because God has me transparent about my life. He has me so transparent about things. But I was having this conversation with God, and it's in so many words, what the Lord told me was, he said, you know, pretty much keep going, because you don't know what I'm doing in the hearts of other people. Because I was at place of defeat earlier. Like about an hour ago, I was literally at a place of defeat. Like, Lord, like my voice is raw. I can't make people so like this was my conversation with God. Like, Lord, I don't depend on people. I'm depending on you. But I know the strategy that you gave me years ago. But Father, I cannot make people so. Only teach me to teach. Not only can do. And it's like in so many words, what God revealed is just like every single time you go live, I'm giving people the opportunity to put what's being taught into action. Am I making sense? And so it's like, when I get on here and it's like it can be 17 people and 5 people coming. That doesn't make me feel appreciated. It makes me feel used. It makes me feel pimped. It really does. It doesn't make it easier for me to get on here and share my life story. I don't see anyone else on here sharing their life story, sharing their struggles, sharing the good things, sharing the revelations. And I don't mean that in a prideful way, but I say that for the people that want to judge how I feel. It doesn't make it any easier. And it's not about, validation. I don't care about people validating me because God has validated me, but it makes it extremely difficult, for anyone to just for me to understand the level of sacrifice that it takes to do what God has me doing. Like, who wants to go where people are not like, who wants to go where they feel used? Where they feel like people don't care? It makes a person feel like, God, I'd just rather give up. And I understand that this is just mature talk because I don't believe that I'm the only person that has felt that way. Some of you guys, even though you might not be in ministry, I'm quite sure that you've been in a situation where you didn't feel valued, where you felt abused, where you felt like people were just looking at your life. And I think for me, a lot of it, hurts because I'm like, Lord, I know my heart and I know how I operate, and that was like the thing that stood out this morning to me, and it grieves my heart. And I'm sure that it grieves God's heart as well. But I'm like, Lord, people can come to me, it doesn't matter what I have going on. And if they need something, like genuinely, if I have it, it ain't even a thought. The only thing is I be saying, God, what do I need to do? I'm always asking God for the strength, the confirmation. I just don't believe in making people toil because I understand that principle. Like, what do I look like choosing to overlook anybody's needs, knowing that I have a means to help them, even if it's not financial? Maybe it's in something, another area. Maybe it's business. Whatever the case may be, like, what do I look like acting as if I don't see it? And it's like, how quickly do we forget that, like, God will he will give you a taste of your own medicine. He will absolutely give you a taste of your own medicine. He absolutely will. He absolutely will. You turn a blind eye, God will put you in that position where people turn a blind eye to you. He will. For people that don't believe God will do that, oh, he absolutely will. He absolutely will. He will make you experience what you have done, sowing and reaping what you've done to other people. So you get the understanding of what it feels like so that you do not do it again. Some people do not learn. And so they get to a perpetual phase, perpetual cycle of reaping those horrific seeds. Those are not good seeds to sow. And so these were kind of like my thoughts. It's been God has kept me at peace today. It's not anywhere as bad as it was, but I'm gonna just be real. I was just like, God, I don't want to do this no more. Like, if it's gonna be like this, if it's going to be, where I feel not valued, unseen, where I feel like people are just watching my life, not for like, where I feel like people are just watching my life, spectating, looking in. It almost feels like mockery, if I can be quite honest. Like, no, these are very vulnerable moments. I'm human. I'm human. God says I am human. And I think that some people like forget that when it revolves around any leader, when it revolves around any prophet, when it revolves around, I have feelings just like y'all. And so I think that has been the biggest battle, you know, like, God, is it any other way for me to like let you use me? Because this ain't it. I can't keep doing this. If people don't value me, I can't keep doing this. I cannot. I love what God is doing in my life. I love it. I love I love ministry. I love ministry. But who wants to feel that way? Who want to feel that way? Like people only care for you because of the oil that you have on your life. Nobody. No one. And I guess these are like some of like, I'm not even gonna call them like dark moments of ministry, but these are like moments that people don't see like behind the scenes. This is just pure honesty. Like, I'm not fabricating. This is literally like the weight of like how I've been feeling. And that's just being like truthful, and like God knows I have been at my wits end. I've been at my wits end. Because sometimes you feel like, why am I sacrificing everything? I will stop my day to pray for somebody, Lord. I will stop what I'm doing if someone says like, hey, apostle, this is my need, or this is this, and if I have it, I will do it in a heartbeat without any thought. So that's just kind of been where I've been. It's not a fun place to be, to feel that way, but you still surrender even though I feel that way. It's like, God, I love you, you know. So let me like yield to you. Let me, still let you use me. It's a painful place to be. Where emotionally, like, how you feel about what God is requiring of you. And, you know, to know that like even though you feel that way, his will still has to be done. Like it is, whew, it's a hard place to be. It's a very hard place to be. It almost makes me feel like, God, I kind of understand Jesus. I'm not comparing my life to Jesus at all, but I understand when he said, Lord, take this bitter cup from me. But then I understand the aspect of, I don't want to do this, but Lord, if it's your will, I surrender. That's one of the most painful places to be in, where you really don't want to do anything, but because you love God so much and you're surrendered, you're beyond surrender to say, God, even though this hurts for me to do, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to yield to you, and I'm going to let you do, you know, what needs to be done in and through my life. It is hard. It's hard. It really is. So that is where I've been faith wise. Still surrendered, still trusting God, still trying to move forward, um, still holding on, but discontent at the same time. Discontent, but understanding that, it's God's will. It is literally God's will that has to go forth. And so I really don't have anything else to say. I don't. I don't have anything else to say. Um, Not at all. Not at all. Um, our goal is still 386. What you do, like it's on you. I can only do what God has told me to do. But it's on those of you guys that are watching, whether you are a spectator, whether you are on it's on you to make up. This is your life. I make sure, I ensure that I do everything that God says do. But what I cannot keep doing all these broadcasts. I absolutely cannot. I shouldn't have to. Some of you guys have been following this ministry for years. You will see a need and you will just keep going. You'll receive the word. But when it comes to sowing, you be like, nah, but me. But you don't mind asking for prayer. You don't mind trying to pimp me and you'll ask a question, but really in so many words, what you're asking is, what is God saying about it? Some of y'all just don't care. Y'all don't mind. Like, y'all literally don't mind doing that. And so, I can't do anything else but what I've done. That's it. That is the goal. Amen. The ways to sow are there. That's it. It's your journey. So I'm going to get off of here, get myself together, and I'm going to keep pushing. That's all I can do. And so, till next time, y'all. Peace.